Hi everyone, welcome to my 2013 Bookcase Tour. This is probably one of the most requested videos for a while, so it's so exciting to do. It's going to be so much fun just to show you all my books. As some of you know, I recently arranged into rainbow colours, so that is very exciting. Hopefully it looks very vivid and interesting for you all to see, because to be honest, it was actually fun to rearrange, and I love doing bookcase tours. Hopefully you will enjoy watching them, because I enjoy watching other people's as well. I'm going to do it all in one part, so it will be a very long video. I'm very sorry, but hopefully it'll be still very good. I will try and condense it as much as possible, but I suppose it's going to be a long video anyway. We're just going to have to cope with that. Why don't you take some tea with you, because then you'll be able to cope. If you have tea with you, you can live a good life watching bookcase tours. Get your tea and let's get going. So the first book is The Power of Six by Pittacus Law. That is the second book in the Lorien Legacy series. Then I have The Complete Chronicles of Narnia by C.S. Lewis. That is like a bind-up, basically. I think it's 6 books in total. Then The Hunger Games Companion by Louis H. Gresh. Then the fourth book is Death Note Black Edition. This is basically volumes 1 and 2 combined into one big one. And then Iona by Alison Goodman, the second book in the Aeon duology, which is just a great high fantasy duology. You must read it. Then I have The Hunger Games Tribute Guide by Scholastic Press. That basically shows all of the tributes from the film, basically all their pictures and everything, a little bit about each one as well. Then I do actually have the actual Hunger Games by Suzanne Collins. That is probably the first of about 3 different copies of that first book that I have. I know it's quite insane, but you know, say I'm insane. I love the Hunger Games. I think it's completely amazing. Then I have Skullduggery Pleasant by Derek Landy, which is a great series. Great characters, you just must read it. Then, this is slightly out of order, I completely understand, but I've got Gone, Hunger and Lies. That is the order that they go in for the first 3. They're by Michael Grant. I think their covers are really nice, very simple but very effective. And then I've got in between them Uglies by Scott Westerfeld. Then I've got The Maze Runner by James Dashner, and that is the first book in that series. Then I've got Skullduggery Pleasant Deathbringer, which is book 6, and Skullduggery Pleasant Playing with Fire, which is book 2. Sorry, everything is a bit out of order, obviously, with rainbow colours and stuff. You can't really get the whole series together. Then I've got some Time Riders books. I've got The Eternal War, Time Riders, and Day of the Predator. They're all by Alex Scarrow. Then Tunnels by Gordon and Williams. The Eagle of the Ninth by Rosemary Sutcliffe. That is quite a nice cover. I think that's kind of historical, I think, in some respects. So I think that'll be quite an exciting, quite different read, actually, to get to. Then Brisinga by Christopher Paolini, which is the 3rd book in the Inheritance cycle. Then I'm just going to have to move a little bit across just so you can see. Nightrise and Evil Star by Anthony Horowitz. That is book 3 and book 2. Then I've got Fell by David Clement Davis. That is the sequel to The Sight, which is great. I read that in summer. I think I did a review on that as well, so obviously if you want to know a bit more, or actually a bit more about any of these, generally the ones I've read I've done reviews of. On the end I've got my Kindle there, which is probably collecting dust. I don't really use my Kindle as much as I potentially should. I have sort of samples on it and stuff, but for me, I just love having a physical book. There are so many advantages to having a physical book. And to be honest, there aren't many advantages to a Kindle, although there are a few. I definitely prefer physical books. Kindle books, I'm not a huge fan. And then I also have some glasses right here as well. I don't really wear them often, and I don't even need them, but I just bought them because they're nerd glasses, and they kind of look nice on my shelf, I suppose, next to all my books. The next shelf starts off with Changeling Dark Moon by Steve Fiercy. Then I've got Bleach Volumes 4, 5 and 6 by Teet Kubo. That is a bind-up of 3 in 1. Then I've got some Chaos Walking books a bit all over the place. Book 1 is The Knife of Never Letting Go. Book 2 is The Ask and the Answer, and Book 3 is The Monsters of Men. Then I've got here Divergent by Veronica Roth, which is amazing. The Medusa Project, The Hostage by Sophie Mackenzie. Soul Eater by Michelle Paver. Wilderness by Roddy Doyle. Knife Edge by Mallory Blackman. That is the 2nd book in that series. Throne of Glass by Sarah J. Maas, which is just amazing. You must read that book. I'm commanding it because it's literally my favourite book of the year so far. It's just perfect. And then I Am Number 4 by Pittacus Law, and then I've just shown The Knife of Never Letting Go a minute ago. Just going to move across a little bit more. Let's kind of jump across with this. Tripod's quite hard to actually work out. I've never used it before. Then I've got The Loop by Nicholas Evans. The Lord of the Flies by William Golding. Hachiko Waits by Leslie Newman, which is just a heartwarming story. You must read it. It's based off real life as well, so it makes it even better in my opinion. The Book Thief by Marcus Suzak. The London Eye Mystery by Siobhan Dowd, Black Beauty by Anna Sewell, an absolutely fantastic classic. I just really emote with animal books. I think they're brought across in such a way that you really, bring your emotions out. Then Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix by J.K. Rowling. If we go up a little bit, I've got Will Grayson by John Green and David Levithan. I'm not going to talk much about that. I actually don't really like that book, to be honest. Then I've got The Death Cure by James Dashner, The Raven Boys by Maggie Steve Arter, Noughts and Crosses by Mallory Blackman, and Percy Jackson and the Lightning Thief by Rick Riordan. You can probably hardly see that. That's definitely in the shadows. Here we've got Scuddlebury Pleasant, The Faceless Ones by Derek Landy, Clockwork Angel by Cassandra Clare, Maximum Ride the Angel Experiment by James Patterson, Lord of the Rings The Fellowship of the Ring by J.R.R. Tolkien. Then I've got more Hunger Games books, different covers this time though. I've got The Hunger Games, Mockingjay and Catching Fire. That's in a slightly different order. It's going book 1, 3 and 2. But, I'm just arranging it like that. I don't know why. Here at the top I've got Redwall by Brian Jakes, Matimeo, and Long Patrol and Martin the Warrior. Over here I've got another Hunger Games cover. I am a Hunger Games obsessive, as you can see. Then I've got Ravensgate by Anthony Horowitz, The Forsaken by Lisa M. Stasse, Scuddlebury Pleasant Dark Days by Derek Landy. Then I've got The Bellmaker and the Outcast of Redwall again by Brian Jakes. Then I've got Emperor of the Field of Swords by Connie Wilden. Down here I have The Spook's Apprentice by Joseph Delaney, Legend by Marie Lu, Changeling by Steve Fiercy, The Doomsday Code by Alex Scarrow, and The Scorched Trials by James Dashner. So this next shelf is actually my favourite shelf because, I don't know, the colours just seem to work so much better than the rest of the shelf. Let's get going with the blue section. If we start right at the top, we've got The Portal by Andrew Norris. Then I have The Secret Passage by Nina Borden, Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone by J.K. Rowling, City of Ashes by Cassandra Clare, which is book 2 in the Mortal Instruments series, Running on the Cracks by Julia Donaldson, Watership Down by Richard Adams, then The Fault in Our Stars by John Green, and obviously John Green is an amazing writer for The Fault in Our Stars. That really captures your attention. It is just, so many emotions go through you and you just can't stop reading. It is that good. Then I've got Catching Fire by Suzanne Collins, obviously the second book in the Hunger Games series, The Medusa Project Hunted by Sophie Mackenzie, Spirit Walker by Michelle Paver, Maximum Security by Robert Muchamore, Artemis Fowl by Owen Colfer, The Sight by David Clement Davis, and Wolf's Angel by M.D. Lachlan. Just looking at these, we've got Eragon by Christopher Paolini, which is the first book in the Inheritance cycle, Firebringer by David Clement Davis, and then Skywolves by Olivia Mitchell, and Silverfin by Charlie Higson. Just going to move slightly across again, just to this green area. We have Northern Lights by Philip Pullman. That is actually probably more blue than green. Inheritance by Christopher Paolini, the fourth and final book in the Inheritance cycle. Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban by J.K. Rowling. Oathbreaker by Michelle Paver, Scuddlebury Pleasant Mortal Coil, which is book 5 by Derek Landy, and The Hobbit by J.R.R. Tolkien. Then right at the top in the shadows, we have The Perks of Being a Wallflower by Stephen Chbosky. Here right at the top, there is The Woman in Black by Susan Hill, then Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows by J.K. Rowling, Oliver Twist by Charles Dickens, Percy Jackson and the Sea of Monsters by Rick Riordan, Clockwork Prince by Cassandra Clare. Then I have The Caribbean by the National Geographic Traveller, The Medusa Project The Rescue by Sophie Mackenzie, City of Bones by Cassandra Clare, which is book 1 in the Mortal Instruments, Warhorse by Michael Morpurgo, Eon Rise of the Dragon Eye by Alison Goodman, Wolf Brother by Michelle Paver and also Outcast by Michelle Paver, Fahrenheit 451 by Ray Bradbury, Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire by J.K. Rowling, Life of Pi by Jan Martel, Hunger Games Mockingjay by Suzanne Collins, then Invisible City by M.G. Harris, The Recruit by Robert Muchamore and Class A by Robert Muchamore, Lord Lost by Darren Shan, and then Chamber of Secrets and The Half-Blood Prince, both by J.K. Rowling, obviously books in the Harry Potter series. Then I have Sophie Mackenzie's The Setup, which is the first book in the Medusa Project, Eldest by Christopher Paolini, and then I've got City of Glass, which is book 3, and City of Fallen Angels, which is book 4 in the Mortal Instruments series by Cassandra Clare. The final shelf that I'm going to show is my Warriors shelf by Erin Hunter. I'm not going to show any other shelves basically because it's all like school revision books and all boring stuff like that, and none of you really want to see that because who wants to be reminded of school? Not me, and probably not you either. So this is the Amazing Warriors shelf. I think Warriors is an amazing series. Some people think it doesn't sound good, but You know, if you haven't read it, you don't know. It is absolutely amazing. You just will fall in love with the series. I mean, to be honest, I didn't even think it sounded that good at first, and I read it and I'm like an addict now, so completely please read it. So we start with the first 4, which are all field guides. These basically just tell a little bit more about the series in more depth. So we've got Battles of the Clans, Code of the Clans, Cats of the Clans, and Secrets of the Clans. Then I have some super editions down there and up there as well. I have Blue Star's Prophecy, Crooked Star's Promise, Sky Clan's Destiny, and Fire Star's Quest. Sorry, I'm kind of like going backwards and forth now with my arms because I can't really get around this camera kind of thing. Let's move a little bit across. The next 6 are all original series. We've got Into the Wild, Fire and Ice, Forest of Secrets, Rising Storm, A Dangerous Path, and The Darkest Hour. Then moving a little bit more across, I've got The New Prophecy. Midnight, Moonrise, Dawn, Starlight, Twilight, and Sunset. I don't think that series is as good as the others, but, you know, Twilight in that one was definitely a highlight, so I'm really, really glad I still read it. A bit more journeying than normal. It sort of dragged on a little bit, but it was still very good. At the top here, I've got the French edition of Into the Wild, which is La Guerre de Clan, L'étau et la Terre Sauvage. Obviously, again, by Aaron Hunter, but it is translated. Then I've got The Rise of Scourge, The Lost Warrior, Warrior's Refuge, and Warrior's Return. They're all different manga books because, you know, there are quite a lot of manga books in Warriors. I haven't got them all, but they're just a few of them. Then I've got The Power of Free, The Sight, Dark River, Outcast, Eclipse, Long Shadows, and Sunrise. Finally, the last few books for this bookcase tour, which is the Omen of the Stars series. I've got The Fourth Apprentice, Fading Echoes, Night Whispers, Sign of the Moon, The Forgotten Warrior, The Last Hope. And then right on the end, I've got another Aaron Hunter book, which is Seekers, The Quest Begins. That series is about bears as opposed to cats. So that is actually it for my bookcase tour. I hope you all enjoyed seeing all those books. Hopefully it was an interesting, fun tour. I tried to condense it as much as I could. When I started filming, I actually decided to talk about them a lot, but then it was very rambly and we was getting like over an hour long, and to be honest, that is a bit mental. So now I've condensed it. Hopefully it's a little bit better. Hopefully you still saw all the books. Obviously, if you want to know any more about any of them, please ask any questions in the comments that you may have, and I'll be there to reply. I also just want to say thank you to my sister Nail Freak Emma. Please go subscribe to her if you can, for letting me borrow her camera, because if I used my webcam camera it would be so bad. The quality would be so grainy as it moved around and everything. This camera is at least a little bit better. But I'm going to leave it here for now, so thank you for watching. Don't forget to comment, rate, share and subscribe, and I will see you all again later. Goodbye.